Good afternoon, everyone. So, here is the follow up video that I told you guys that I would make regarding Outlier AI. So, my experience started off with Remotasks.com. So, when I was on there, I actually was making a good chunk of money. So, I was making about $400 per week with it. I got paid sometimes on the day I was supposed to get paid, but they had a huge issue with not paying out, which, pisses anybody off. So basically, I have been on there for a few years or a year or two. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea, but I just know it was more than a year. And I was on there basically almost every day. So I was making a good chunk of money. I was constantly doing different tasks, everything that they removed me from and added me to, I did it. Okay. Even if I did it correctly, they still took me off, which pissed me off because they're like, it's automated. So if the AI of the site felt like you did it wrong, we're gonna remove you. Now, I got so many things to say about the people that looks over the work, but we're gonna get to that in a second. So I made about $400 the very first week of remote tests. Okay. So from there, I was like, oh, word, I can make a lot of money with this site weekly while doing my other jobs. Okay. So I was using that to basically fund my business and whatnot, my art business. And I was happy with it. It was something to pass time, but also something that supported the endeavors that I had, going on. So eventually, after my first week of making 400 plus dollars, it went downhill from there. Um, Basically, they have these people who review your work, reviewers. Um, and a lot of them, they don't necessarily train. They give them training things, but it's not much of training because I was given a reviewer thing and I was able to pass. So I guess some of the reviewers found my work to not be good enough that it got to the point where they removed me. Now, um, the crazy thing is my work was good enough because of the reviews, because it wasn't like they were giving me twos. It wasn't like they was giving me threes. They were giving me four and fives, which is pretty good because you have to have at least 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5. So I was getting four and fives. Because of this, however, because I was mostly getting 4 out of 5s, it dropped my rating. It dropped my rating to, I believe it said 91% because I was doing like a lot of work. Like, you don't understand. I had so much work that I did. And yeah, so it dropped it down to 91%. I don't necessarily know how the percentages work, but yeah. There were like little inklings of 3 out of 5s, but they claimed they removed them because the reviewers were incorrect with the ratings. Whatever. Um, so due to this, my percentage dropped and immediately I was kicked out of the project. Um, And when I said something about it, they're just like, it was an automated thing. So if your percentage dropped, you're removed immediately. We don't do it on our side. It's just an automated thing. I think that's a stupid idea because stuff like that can, cause friction between the taskers and the platform. But that's beyond me, I guess. Um, so due to this, I was removed from the project. So when I got removed from the project, they immediately put me on another project. I did not do well in that project. I didn't like it. So they immediately moved me out of that one. Like, I had to be honest with that. I didn't do good. I sucked at that. So they removed me. I was good at the first one. I was really good at it. Um, but then, they put me on another project, but then it got to the issue of them not paying me. So every time you get into a new project, they put you in a Discord, or is it Discord? It's not Discord. What am I talking about? Teams, the Microsoft Teams thing. They put you on the Microsoft Teams thing, and you can discuss different types of topics on there. When I tell you, almost everybody kept saying they were not getting paid every time payday came around. So when payday came around, all of us was in there saying, "Where's my pay? Where's my pay? Where's my pay?" And they tried to say it was PayPal, but we basically came to conclusion it wasn't PayPal. Which is why it's a hit or miss thing when you're on a site where they pay you via PayPal. That can always become a problem. Um, so eventually we got paid, but we got paid like 2 days late. So we were supposed to get paid that Tuesday or Monday. I'm gonna say Tuesday. I'm gonna say Tuesday. We were supposed to get paid that Tuesday. We got paid Thursday, which is a bad John, only because of the fact, it shouldn't take that long, you know, to pay someone. So then it got to the point where they ended up not paying at all. Like I had a bunch of pending tasks that were not being paid out. Rather the reviewers just wasn't reviewing them, or literally they just weren't paying people for the task. I did look it up, and a lot of people were having that issue where they were not paying people for their task. So, once that became clear to me, I realized, yeah, this is not going to work. So, eventually, after a year or so, and they still wasn't paying me, I kept coming back to the website to see if they paid me. I did not do any tests. Don't worry, I did not give them free work and whatnot. No, I did not. I ended up leaving the site completely. Kept coming back to see if they paid me. They did not pay me, so I just left it alone. I ended up seeing a new site called Outlier.ai. I didn't think much of it, so I kind of just left it alone. About a month or two went by, and I ended up going back to Remotasks, signed in, and they actually said on their site, "Hey, go to our new platform," which was Outlier.ai. I'm like, "Oh shit, this is the website that I saw earlier in the year." So I ended up going on there. I went on there, um, and they still had like my payments and stuff. It showed how much I got paid previously. Yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, they still have all my information. Still not paying me. Like it showed that it still showed I had over like 1,000 tasks completed, but it said there was no pending, tasks to be paid out. So they just wasn't paying me for that. So starting fresh, new platform, I went on there and I made a new joined a new project, and it was going well. I was getting paid a good chunk of money every week. I was doing well every month. I didn't have the same issues with remote tasks. I was actually getting paid. I wasn't getting kicked out of project back to back to back to back to back. If I did get kicked out, it was mostly because I was inactive. So they just took me off the project. So it was actually pretty chilling for the most part. The main issue I had around that time would have to be just the reviewers just giving me scores about like me adding emojis when I didn't add emojis. So it was just like random reviews like that giving me 1 out of 5. Apparently if you look on Reddit or just Google, apparently a lot of people are having that issue, where reviewers are saying you're adding emojis. I didn't even know you could really do that on a computer. I actually didn't know you could add emojis on a computer. Whatever. Um, so yeah, you probably can. I don't know nothing about that. I don't do that unless I'm on my phone. But yeah. They kept saying that, and I'm like, I didn't add emojis. I don't know what you're talking about. So they would give a lot of us like 1 out of 5. um and it was a huge issue because it was actually on the community tab that they gave us where you could talk to other people. Everyone was having that issue with the reviewers, so they did allow us to copy the reviewers code and copy it onto the community tab so we could tell them who did it, and they would get to the bottom of it, I guess. I don't know, but it was still an ongoing issue when I was on there. Then then we're getting to present day where they dropped my pay rate. One thing's for sure, one thing for certain, I will not work minimum wage pay. So they dropped my pay, and I knew that was an issue. A lot of people said they dropped it due to, how many times you get bad ratings or kicked out of a project. I wasn't getting kicked out of a project back to back, so I assumed it just had something to do with the reviews, like the reviewers and the stuff they were saying. Um, I was put onto minimum wage pay and I wasn't doing it. Um, that was my issue. They dropped me from it was weird because some was higher than most, but I understand, depends on the person that put up that project. Um, but I was getting paid, like, there was $25 per hour, and then there was some that was $15 per hour, and some was $18 per hour. Um, But yeah, they dropped me down to minimum wage, which was $7.83 per hour. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. One thing for certain, I am not doing that. I'm not working at that pay rate. Um, because at the time I wasn't working, so I just was doing that as a full-time, pay. Um, so I was like, no, this won't work. This is not gonna work. Um, and I just ended up deleting my account. Now, your experience on Outlier may be totally different. Some people still have the issue of, at least when I was on a community tab, a lot of people were still having issues of not getting paid. I didn't have that issue on Outlier. I had that issue with Remotasks, but I do understand some people are having that issue on Outlier. Now, you try it yourself. Do not take my word for it. You try it yourself. I don't want you to automatically not do it because I had a bad experience. I would rather you do it so that, you can get it, get your own personal view of it, your personal experience. Okay? So the website is called Outlier.ai. Not .com, .ai. Now, try it out. It may be good for you. It may work for you. I would like to see your experiences. If y'all have been on the platform, I would like to know your experiences in the comments. However, that was just my personal experience. Uh, but yeah, um, that is all I wanted to talk about with Outlier.ai. Again, there is a website called Aligner that did email me, so I will be, once I get accepted into it and everything, I will get into that and I will tell y'all my personal experience with that. But yeah, that's about it. I hope that you guys enjoyed my video, and I will be coming up with more videos regarding making money and whatnot. Make sure you check the description for ways to make money, websites to make money and make money playing games. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.